Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Felix of Virtual Witchcraft, Quidditch Champions playtester, well-known seeker on the pitch, Season 1 president, and today your commentator. Coming to you live from League 7, ready to present to you yet another exciting seasonal match. But first, for those of you who may just be tuning in, welcome. You've stumbled upon the first of its kind league focused around the brutal game of Quidditch Champions. We've just kicked off our 5th season, whereby 9 teams compete to take home the coveted Quidditch Cup. And let me tell you, the competition has been fierce thus far. So buckle in and prepare yourself for a one-of-a-kind season focused around the Order of the Phoenix. To keep up to date with the season, partake in our special events, or just hang out with us Quidditch-loving nerds, be sure to join our Discord server, which you can find through our official site at LEAGUE7.gg. The site will clue you into our history, previous seasons, and the names and faces of players and community members alike who have helped us get this far. And if you find that you want to be a part of the league itself, there are always opportunities for upcoming champions to join the ranks of old and new teams alike. For our returning audience, you may have noticed that there have been a few changes. Every season, League 7 has strived to surpass its predecessors, and this season is no different. Each seasonal producer and commentator since the end of Season 1 has brought something great to the league and its streams. We intend to honour and hark back to the very best they brought to us today. From our humble beginnings in the stands of Hogwarts, we arrive back at the gilded glory of the World Cup Stadium, a befitting battleground for our world-class players. A quick disclaimer to ensure both first-time viewers and returning spectators understand some of the changes we've made between seasons. When match begins, even as we swap between team perspectives, the scoreboard and snitch meter will remain affixed based on the home team's display. To avoid confusion, a nameplate and team logo will be visible at the bottom of the screen to let you know which perspective you're watching. Our most recent change is the snitch bar itself. For your viewing ease, we've gone ahead and quartered the meter's path in 25% increments, ensuring you know just how far along your favourite team seeker is. Additionally, to ensure that a player's team colours doesn't chromatically conflict with their cadence and capture, we've tinted the snitch meter a Phoenix Fire Gold. And of course, you may have noticed a few commentator interfaces have changed. But don't worry, whilst the visuals may have evolved, we're still dedicated to putting our players, our community, and the League 7 first. Now, enough of my spiel. We're currently getting a few things set up on the back end of things, so I'm going to step away for just a moment longer, and we will be getting back into this here shortly. Alrighty lads, glad to be back here in the booth here at League 7. We're still waiting on our players to get their HUDs set up and the matches loaded in, so let me break it down as to where we are at today. Today we have two exciting matches that you can see here. The Avenging Angels versus the Hellfire Hogs starting us out in the next 10 minutes, and then of course followed up by the Hellfire Hogs facing off against the Chadley Cannons. For those of you who have just tuned in to League 7, we have just begun our Season 5. Season 5 based around the Order of the Phoenix. We currently have had only 2 matches to date for Season 5. Versing Team Pumpkin Snatch against the Hellfire Hogs and the Avenging Angels against the Gaslight and Grindelows. So, we see that the Hellfire Hogs and Avenging Angels are facing off against one another today. The Avenging Angels currently on a winning streak and the Hellfire Hogs currently on a losing one. Will that continue, or will things be swapped about? And then of course, first time Season 5 playing is the Chadley Cannons, a returning team from Season 4, now back at it again here today at the pitch. Of course, the Hellfire Hogs are going to have a lot riding on them. Today will determine just how far along they get, but right now they are currently sat at 4th place. Avenging Angels sitting only at 2nd place with a 100% win streak, but of course they have not scored yet as many goals as Team Pumpkin Snatch, which has secured them the 1st place running. And of course 3rd place sitting delightfully with the Gaslighting Grindelows, who managed to best themselves, or rather the Avenging Angels managing to have bested the Gaslighting Grindelows, and that is what we see today. Currently still waiting for the players. We will be seeing some exciting matches, hopefully from both perspectives today, but it will all depend. And, of course, I'm sure the rest of you have noticed that we've done a few changes here and there. I've been rather proud working in the background trying to get some things set up. Of course, we had been running from our Season 1 perspective and then just updating some of the player perspectives here and there. But today, I'm glad to bring us back to the World Cup Stadium, which, if I am not mistaken, was actually presented first time by Flyrish. Flyrish, if you're listening, happy to have you here. Happy for all that you've done. And of course, I'm absolutely delighted to be a part of the broadcasting team yet again. Looking into the chat, seems we've got a few people pulled up already. Laggy Lestrange saying, love to see VW casting. Let me tell you, Laggy, love to be casting again. It's absolutely delightful. OTPHG, Irish Felix, actually the GOAT. I must agree. Of course I am putting on a wee bit of an accent, but it's not too difficult for me. I do happen to be Irish in the background, and I do enjoy being able to present a fun and delightful casting here and there. Just Ketchup saying, feel betrayed? I'm so sorry, Ketchup. Don't you worry, we'll be having you back in the books next week. Hopefully. Assuming that the other teams actually start playing up again. But yes, I would love to have you back in the books. Just didn't have everything set and squared away this week around. But for those of you who may not have known, Just Ketchup had joined me in the box last week to present for a few of the previous games with the Avenging Angels, the Gaslighting Grindelows, Team Pumpkin Snatch, and of course the Hellfire Hogs. Pumpkin Snatch, of course, being the captain of Team Pumpkin Snatch, here in chat saying, cool beans, I must agree. I do find this entire setup rather cool. I do like that I now have some microphones to project across the entirety of the World Cup pitch. It is delightful. Swapping on over, let's go ahead and break down some of what we're going to be seeing today. We've got the Avenging Angels, captained by Angel himself. Current win streak at 100%. Point differential at 90. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs, captained by Mooney, has currently not been enjoying much of a win streak, but I have known them to go very far in previous seasons past, even getting to the qualifiers of the Newts in last season. Skipper pulling up saying, glad to see the L7 budget going to the right places. Thank you, Skipper, for getting me this private commentator's box here at the World Cup. I have been enjoying it. They have so much tea on tap. I may be a bit of buzz on my side of things. Anything for you, Skipper. Thank you so much for all the work that you have put in over the years, both whilst I was a president and arriving today to see you in the same position. You are doing absolutely fantastic. Keep up all of the good and hard work. Currently still waiting on a few of the perspectives of the Hogs in order to get things set up, but for this very first match, I am proud to say that we are probably going to be witnessing Angel themselves running it down. Not exactly sure exactly what position they're going to be running into, but if I know Angel, they're probably going to be swinging in as a beater. Powerful beater, that is Angel. Had knocked out quite a few players in last week's match against the Grindelows. But otherwise, chat, I hope that everything has been going well on your side of things. It is Father's Day for all of you out there who wish to celebrate. Be sure to reach out to your father and wish them a happy Father's Day. Dear dads, please DM me. I am happy to entertain some company. And it looks like we might be getting some Hellfire Hog viewing action here. Give me one moment. Let's see. Oh, this is looking grand. I won't spoil much right now. But if we are indeed getting the stream, we are. Oh, we are in for a fun match. Ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between. This is going to be absolutely spectacular. But yes, chat, let's go ahead and start theorizing with these teams. Exactly who do you imagine is going to be winning this next match? We are hopefully going to see 3 matches in, but do you believe that given by numbers alone, the Avenging Angels will shut this game down? Or do you think the Hellfire Hogs are going to bring that fiendish fire with them? If I have anything to say about it, I'm never going to count the Hogs out. Especially coming from the chaotic players that manage the teams, I think that the Hogs are going to give it their all. Pumpkin Snatch coming in saying, Hogs are locking in. I must say, they certainly are. They certainly are. As I was getting things set up on my side of things, I did notice that many of the players of the Hogs were already in there practicing, coordinating, getting their team plays down packed. However, the Avenging Angels, knowing how they generally run, I don't think they're going to give them this game so easily. Now, I'm going to do a few last-minute adjustments on my side of things. So don't go away. We'll be pulling up very shortly with the first match of the Avenging Angels versus the Hellfire Hogs. See you soon. Alrighty everyone, it looks as if the players are getting their custom matches set on up. For those who might not yet know, this season has operated a bit differently from seasons past. Back in Season 4, we introduced the concept of a 3-snitch match, increasing the amount of snitches to be captured, but also decreasing the amount of points earned from a single capture. A single capture of the snitch is now worth 20 points, and of course, as I said earlier, there is the potential to capture 3 snitches in a match. This has balanced gameplay quite a bit, I must say, and has allowed a greater meta to develop over time. Seekers now have developed greater flight patterns. I've seen a greater amount of variance in their builds, not just in brooms, but also within their skill trees. And of course, this means that beaters and chasers must focus on their own games outside of the Seeker play, increasing the amount of actual pressure played upon. Now, first matchup is going to be the Avenging Angels versus the Hellfire Hogs. Still waiting on the players to load on in, but it is to be expected that we will be playing here shortly. So, if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and cast your bets. I don't really have the same setup that Flyers did, but at the very least, if we're going to be gambling, we can gamble in, let's say, some cookies. Some cookies and bragging rights, at the very least. Some last minute comms coming in. Seems that Beesman on fire from Pumpkin Snatch. The Mooney is good at managing chaos. That is true. That is true. Angels have gotten some big pickups recently, so I wouldn't count them out just yet. VT being on L7, crazy work, love to see it. I have been updating some things here and there and learning from other streams. Glad that I was able to get my own little face back up on here, broadcasting to each of you today. Chaos Creature says, good luck teams, I want a nice, clean game from all of you. Good words from the wise Madam Hooch. Still true today. And as it seems, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between or otherwise, it looks as if they are about to load into their custom match. This is going to be rather exciting. I have been so stoked for the beginning of the season once again. Last week was an excellent start, and now we continue with that same momentum. If you haven't already, teams, be sure to get your matches set up so I can prepare appropriately. I want to be able to dedicate and showcase each and every one of you out here on the pitch, commentate wherever possible, and produce a most spectacular viewing experience for everyone involved. Currently just waiting. Looks as if the Angels have one person holding off. Perhaps they're trying to keep their other team on edge. Hellfire Hogs probably sweating, knowing what they're about to get into. These vengeful angels with their heavenly powers, ready to rain down divine smite from the heavens, whilst the Hellfire Hogs are taking that burning inferno and bringing it to the pitch in a squealing cry of victory. Skipper pulling up. VW casting is a W. I appreciate that. I always try to do my best. I have also been learning from previous commentators and producers past. And of course, you'll be able to see more than just me sitting here in the booth in weeks to come. I do hope to have Ketchup back in the booth with me. I do hope to hopefully have other team captains. And I do hope to host more than just matches here at League 7. But in any case, as I've been speaking, it looks as if we are about to get into our first match. So let's go ahead, transition on over to the pitch here at Hogwarts Stadium. We have the very first matchup of today's game. The Avenging Angels versus the Hellfire Hogs. Let's play Quidditch! And first up, we have the Avenging Angels. We have Angel themselves flying on in, streaking up the pitch. Oh, but it looks as if... Oh, Shippotail puts it in. Oh, I might have to swap one over. Looks as if Angel has an interesting HUD display that is messing with mine. Always challenges that come up during streaming, but we should be able to get that fixed. Otherwise, oh, nope, it looks as if Hellfire Hogs are experiencing some issues with their connection. Most unfortunate, but to be expected from time to time. As we're waiting on the teams to get themselves back on up, I'm going to swap perspectives on over. Rather unfortunate on my side, but I will present to you a different look here. Let's see who I can get. Ooh, now this will be an interesting perspective if I've ever seen one. Yes, perhaps this one here. I think that will be right interesting. Alright everyone, as we're waiting for these teams to head back on into the pitch, I will remind you all, if you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all of that good jazz, both here and at our YouTube page. We are still uploading some of the VODs that we do have here and there towards that page, as well as keeping things all organised and such through our home Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord already, I do recommend doing so. You can find it over at our official website at LEAGUE7.gg. It's Rosati coming out here saying good luck all, I'm ready for some solid matches, as am I. It's going to be absolutely spectacular to behold, and I have never been more stoked to present Quidditch to all of you. Hopefully I will be able to broadcast more often rather than just coming in around the end of Newts and being able to present there. It will certainly be a lot easier on my voice to be able to spread out some of these matches. For those of you who may not know, when I was presenting for the Newts of Season 4, I found myself going rather hoarse by the end of approximately a 5 to 6 hour stream altogether. Goodness. Commentating can have its challenges, but it is ever so rewarding. I get to be here with all of you. I get to be able to present in my own fun way. Pumpkin Snatch is absolutely right. It is absolutely fun. Alright everyone, and it looks like we're about to load back into our matches. So, hopefully, Hellfire Hogs don't experience any kind of issues with their ping. I have known on occasion, if you are working on either EU or international servers, sometimes it does have a bit of a challenge with playing against American servers. Right there, we see that we are about to head into the match. Avenging Angels versus Hellfire Hogs Attempt 2. And today, we've decided to go with the Seer on Seeking position. Classic Seeker play. Meanwhile, over with Beesman, we have some keeper action, showcasing Beesman's prowess when it comes down to fighting off the enemy chasers. Beautiful snag there from Beesman, captures the Quaffle and sends it right back out. But it looks as if it's back at Beesman. Beesman sends it out to Melanor. Melanor currently streaking down the pitch, attempting to come in from the right-hand flank, looking for an opening, and puts it in with the help of Shocks. Absolutely beautiful play there. And it looks as if at current time, the Avenging Angels have taken a rather enjoyable lead against the Hellfire Hogs on that snitch race. Currently, Seer enjoying that lead. Toma battling it out against Seer. Beesman sending out some rings. Meanwhile, Avenging Angels currently in possession. Oh no, we see some more bloody hells. This is unfortunate. It looks as if the servers have caused yet more troubles, but it is a-okay. Thankfully, the match was off to a short start, and we didn't get too far in before it became an issue. OTPHG coming in saying, need to be able to talk to commentate. With how hectic... Oh, and then Mage Rayon. With how hectic the World Cup has been, I wonder how the Quidditch World Cup would be if held in the US. Already the Americans want to keep all of the Scottish visiting. I must agree. I must agree. When it comes down to all of the people frequenting the US, it seems as if there are quite a few people who have been enjoying many things out of it, including the food. Especially the food, actually, now that I think about it. But, for those of you who may not know, when it comes down to Quidditch, America doesn't necessarily enjoy it nearly as much as it enjoys its home game of Quad Pot, which is more about explosive bowls and cauldrons, if I'm not mistaken. But, of course, today we are hosting it here, live from League 7, in an ambiguous place, whether we are in Ireland, England, America, Germany, Spain, Russia, who knows? Well, I know. I'm not telling. OTPHG coming out saying, Angels adding Rishi 2 is wild. Any addition of Rishi is going to be fantabulous. Knowing Rishi's previous seasons and the powerful performances we've seen on Seeker, Rishi is definitely bringing a challenge to the Hellfire Hogs. OTPHG follows up. We hosted the Quidditch Cup last year and are actually running another one in the Q6 server now too. Fantastic comms, OTPHJ. If possible, be sure to go ahead and post a link to the Discord for Q6. Of course, as League 7, we do hope that you partake in our league at some point, but at the same time, we're all here to help support every Quidditch server that we have available. Even though this game doesn't have nearly as many numbers as it should, we are hoping to keep this community alive and well. Skipper 13, someone call Luna. Luna has been summoned. Lena RKH, Lurk, good luck, have fun everybody. Fantastic. We love to see the positivity in this community. OTPHJ posting that link to the server. Skipper 13 coming in says, need the servers reset again. Yes, that's true. Q6 server for organized games and future World Cup and House Points event. It wouldn't be Quidditch Champions without some fun server issues here and there now, would it? Rosati does bring up a good point. It is 21 minutes until 41. I anticipate that they will be trying to get at least the first match in before the 41-minute mark. There is plenty of time before we get there. Approximately 3 matches back to back to back, but of course there's going to be loading waits, client restarts, so I anticipate they could probably get at least 1 more match in. Maybe 2, but that might be pushing it. Adrian, I want to watch this, but I also have Assassin's Creed alt-tabbed. Absolutely acceptable, Rayon. You don't necessarily need to watch, but you can listen. Let me tell you, once the game gets a-going, and the sugar and the caffeine starts a-flowing through me, that's when we start popping off. You can at least listen into our broadcast. We do our very best to bring a play-by-play-by-play. Oh, and it looks like, everyone, we're about to finally get back into another match. Hellfire Hogs, Avenging Angels, take 3. Let's see if this is going to make the difference. As we begin yet another match. Keeping the same perspectives as last time, we are going to keep up between LEAGUE7 and Beesman. So without further ado, let the match begin. And they are off. Currently looks as if bludgers are going back and forth. Avenging Angels in possession, but Shuck steals the quaffle, taking it back and begins moving on downfield. Meanwhile, Beesman looking for an opening as the Seekers come racing on in, attempting to knock at LEAGUE7 there, but just misses. Meanwhile, LEAGUE7 taking a large lead, no, not so large, but a rather firm lead against Thomas, as Thomas takes a few hits here and there. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs puts the first goal on the board. We are 6 minutes 20 seconds in and currently enjoying a strong start. Meanwhile, over on LEAGUE7 is currently encroaching on that 45% meter mark, keeping a wide advantage as Tama unfortunately has gone down. Beesman puts the quaffle out. Looks as if the Hellfire Hogs are currently in possession, streaking on over from the left side of the pitch. Looking for an opening over there, but beautiful keeping. Absolutely beautiful keeping from the Avenging Angels, ensuring that that lead on the points board doesn't go much farther. Beesman with a beautiful save sends it on out to Melanor. Meanwhile, the Seer of the Avenging Angels is currently just crashing past 75%. Beesman keeping this quaffle out of the goals, showcasing their absolutely brilliant keeper play, excuse me. But we're going to swap on over to LEAGUE7 as we are getting closer and closer to the snitch. Meanwhile, the Hellfire Hogs puts another 10 points on the board. Will LEAGUE7 be able to close that gap and tie the game with a snitch capture here? Dodges a speeding bludger, weaves in and out of the enemy players as the Hellfire Hogs are currently attempting to get onto him. LEAGUE7 swings past the snitch, an unfortunate circumstance, but will they get it here? LEAGUE7 gets it at 4 minutes 48 seconds left on the board. 20-20, a tied game. Beautiful capture there by way of the Avenging Angels. Meanwhile, it looks as if the Avenging Angels have taken possession of the quaffle. Passes on over to Flyrish. Flyrish, who played as Seeker for last match, now enjoying Chaser play, showcasing some great versatility. The Seer currently flying back and forth. Meanwhile, Beesman sends the quaffle on out, but the quaffle is regained by the Hellfire Hogs. But they have lost possession after a missed shot. Rather unfortunate indeed. Looks as if the Seekers are currently just neck and neck. The Seer currently just ahead of the rest. Beesman dancing in the goals, attempting to taunt the enemy players. Currently Flyrish in possession, looking for an opening, takes the shot but it is wide. Beesman regains possession of the quaffle, sends it on down to Shucks. Shucks currently holding onto the quaffle, avoids a tackle, sends it out, but Flyrish takes that quaffle out of their hands and is moving it back down the pitch. Passes it on over to Shippotail. Shippotail currently moving it forward. Sends it on to Ederoni looking for an opening. Beesman trying to keep him out. Beesman saves, taking the quaffle out of his hands. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful keeping to be expected from Beesman there. Meanwhile, Nasir is just about to encroach on the 75% snitch meter as Tama is just crashing past 60. Will Tama be able to regain on that meter? If so, Tama is going to need to absolutely rely on their beater. Currently setting some plays out, but Shippo in possession. Encroaching, passes it on over. Ederoni in possession of the quaffle. Looking for an opening, getting past the defensive line. Beesman coming in, but the Seekers are hot. Beesman regains possession of the quaffle. Nasir getting on the 95%, gets hit by a beater, weaving in and out of the chaser play. Toma just on top. Oh, Nasir gets hit once again. Will Toma be able to get the snitch here? Interference from the chasers coming in on the enemy goals. Will they get the bounce? They do. Nasir captures the snitch at 2 minutes 5 seconds left on the board. Hellfire Hogs manages to get yet another goal, but Nasir brings it forward 40-30. 2 minutes left on the match. We are back in the game. Chasers attempting to get more shots on goal. Beesman attempting to keep the Hellfire Hogs just away from losing any further points. Flyish currently in possession of the quaffle. Meanwhile, Shaq steals that quaffle and takes it back. Passes it to Melanor, puts it in. 40-40, tied game at 1 minute 23 seconds left on the clock. Meanwhile, the Seekers are neck and neck. Looks as if Tama is enjoying a small lead now. But one beater bat, one bludger, one hit from a chaser. It could all change. Beesman once more saving yet another shot on goal, sending it back on out to Melanor. Melanor sends it on over to Shux, setting up a play, but Ederoni steals the quaffle. 53 seconds left in the match. This is a tied game. Could go either way. Will the Seer capture the snitch just in time? Or will the Hellfire Hogs put another goal in? Shippo attempting to pass it on down. Passes it to Ederoni. Ederoni takes a shot, but Beesman gains the quaffle, sends it on out to Melanor, keeping them out of goal. Meanwhile, the Seer is getting closer and closer. Looks as if we are at 95% on that snitch meter. He can capture here. He does! 60-40. Avenging Angels. 24 seconds left on the clock. Absolutely beautiful play there by way of the Avenging Angels. There is 20 seconds left. Just enough time perhaps for one more goal, but not enough for two. I may have to eat my words here, but it's looking like that is about to be the first win. Well done, Avenging Angels. And that is game. Fantastic work there by way of the Avenging Angels. This year bringing it home with 3 captures. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs showcased an absolutely spectacular chaser game there, putting in 5 goals, but unfortunately just not enough in order to capture the game. Well done, Avenging Angels. Let's go ahead and update this scoreboard here to reflect their win. Chat, I do hope that you've been enjoying the game thus far. It is amazing to broadcast here. These teams are bringing fire and passion and glory to their teams and their names here today. Madrion saying, I played it back in beta and have jumped in from time to time, but it's been a while. Same with the Old Republic. Toma had it. You're absolutely right, Pumpkin Snatch. Toma was just on top of the snitch, nearly had it there, but got knocked away at the last moment. Looks like everyone's been enjoying the tight Seeker race that we enjoyed there. Beautiful gameplay. Absolutely happy to see it. Our players are currently getting some things set up on the back end. I'm also going to see if I can demonstrate a few different perspectives here and there. We want to showcase as many of these great players as is possible. Chat, I would say go ahead and put some expectations or predictions into the chat. It looks like these teams are going to be getting underway here shortly. We do see that we have quite a few fun perspectives to bring up today. I won't go spoiling anything, but I can guarantee you that these are going to be some fun matches. I hope you're having just as much fun as I have been. It is wonderful to be back in the booth with all of you here today. And as we've gotten everything set up there, it looks like the teams are just getting into their matches. Hopefully, we can see yet another exciting match between these two. I will say, it is a rather even match. It looks as if the Hellfire Hogs have brought back their momentum from the last game that they had faced off against, and only allowed a single goal's worth of points difference this time around. Will they bring it back this time and be able to keep the enemy seeker off just long enough to keep that lead? GG, great stops at the end, Beesman. Well done, Beesman, I must say. Absolutely fantastic keeper work. Yet again, you never disappoint. It has been an absolute honour and privilege to showcase your side of things. Keepers are the unsung hero of the pitch, putting out those rings for everyone, making sure to keep the quaffle out of their goal, meanwhile playing interference on the Seeker game. They do it all. Angel assembling the Thanos gauntlet with those new additions. Skinny will be the final stone. Very good OTPHJ and very valid. It looks as if Angel has been putting together an absolutely stellar team. I do wonder what the rest of the season has to bring. For those of you who don't know, there is a new rule in place where newer players are always allowed to join onto new teams, or are always allowed to join onto teams even if they have a full roster, if I'm not mistaken. This allows some fresh faces to join in and see just how directly competitive League 7 Quidditch can be. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe here on our Twitch channel. Be sure to do the same over on our YouTube channel. We are uploading VODs as soon as we get the chance to do so. And be sure to join our Discord server that you can find at league7.gg, our official website. Pumpkin Snatch says, just need more goals. Absolutely true, Pumpkin, absolutely true. The Hellfire Hogs were bringing their all when it came down to their dynamic chaser play, showing fantastic coordination amidst everyone. But when you're facing up against Beesman, the keeper, who has kept legends out of their goal, it is no easy feat. No easy feat whatsoever. And I do hope to see in this next match perhaps a bit more aggressive play from the Hogs when it comes down to putting those goals in. It looks like if the Avenging Angels wish to keep them out a little longer, they're going to have to play more on the defensive line. Doesn't look like they were getting down to the other side of the pitch all that much. However, it must be said that the Hellfire Hogs keeper was putting in just as much work, conceding no goal that entire match. Mage Rowan, I haven't played the game much, installed it, played it for a few weeks, then stopped. Never played multiplayer either. I will say it is understandable to get into the single player mode and not venture too much beyond it. But let me stress that the multiplayer has so much worth and value, that the gameplay is all the more fantastic. It's an league all its own, no pun intended. If you want some challenging gameplay, break away from how easy some of the bots, even in champion mode, can be in the single player mode, let me go ahead and tell you, you should go ahead, play some Q6, play in some league matches, help with some scrims here and there, and see just how challenging and how rewarding Quidditch can be when you are facing off against these talented and titanous players that we showcase here today. Pumpkin Snatch saying, come play then. Yes, following what Pumpkin Snatch says there, join in on these servers in Q6 over at LEAGUE7. Sure, we can get you on the pitch today. Now I'm going to take a brief moment here to hydrate, do some of the Kelpies proud, do some of the previously Kelpies. Now, if I'm not mistaken, many of the Kelpies have transitioned over to the Gaslight and Grindylows, keeping up the aquatic theme, and very well done on whoever has put that team together, both teams together, because the Kelpies and the Grindylows you can hear more about in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, a deep cut that I, as a Harry Potter nerd, certainly appreciate. Ah, that's just good water. I will say, don't let me be the only one drinking water here today. Be sure to go out there and hydrate, everyone. It's good for you, and it ensures that you can play just as sweaty and not miss a single beat. Made Rowan sing, maybe not today, but Steam is downloading now. Got to relearn how to play. Not that I'm any good. We all start somewhere, and I guarantee you, you'll pick it up just as quickly as these players have. It has changed the meta here and there, and the multiplayer gameplay can be fierce, but do not let that discourage you. It is so much fun, especially when you can get onto these teams, share in voice chats, coordinate with one another, and play fierce games of Quidditch. Entire community is here for you when you get the chance. Well said, Rosati. Well said. The community, whilst we can be fierce, whilst we can talk smack, we do stand to be here for one another. We do our best not to be so toxic. It can happen, as with any competitive gameplay, but at the same time, for every time that there happens to be a toxic game, there are plenty more where we are uplifting one another, training one another, ensuring that we all have the fiercest, best competition yet, always striving for better. Anyone ever go to the Harry Potter touring exhibition? I saw it in Philadelphia, but they were already talking much of it down as it was the last week. Rather unfortunate. I've not been myself. I did live out in Atlanta when they had brought an exhibition out there, but I never got a chance to break away from it. Much too busy a schedule at the time. Rosati, meanwhile, saying, I did the Chicago, going again this year, so good. I must say, I'd have liked to do it over in Chicago myself. Been up there a few times with a few friends, and a rather lesser known thing about Chicago for those of you who may not have frequented the Windy City, fantastic food. Now, this may be a bit of contentious point, but I do love the deep dish pizza out there. Yes, I know it could be more qualified as a cake or maybe even a modified lasagna, but at the same time, I do love all the heaps of cheese, the toppings, the sauce, and just being able to have it in that deep pie pan. Wonderful. But beyond that, their Chicago style hot dogs, their local foods and eateries, splendid, absolutely splendid. Recently found a bunch of pictures I took whilst there. Come to Philly, get a cheesesteak. Well, Rayon, be sure to join our LEAGUE7 server, and you can post some of those over in our out-of-game chats. I'm sure people would love to see some of the pictures that you've taken whilst there. Rizati says butterbeers are hot chocolate, were fire at the exhibition. It was the Forbidden Forest experience. And everyone, if you're wondering, it looks as if both teams are currently waiting for the dreaded 41. If you don't know, the dreaded 41 minute mark is where a lot of server issues tend to occur, oftentimes crashing out. Looks to be a server refresh that is brought about by the game devs at the time that it had been developed. So we are currently waiting for that 41-minute mark to pass us on by, but otherwise we will be getting back into another game of Quidditch. Meanwhile, Avenging Angels are currently enjoying their first victory on the pitch, thanks to their seeker, Lysair. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs brought the bacon when it came down to their Chaser Core. Will they be returning much the same with a similar gameplay, or will we be seeing a change up? Maybe they're going to focus a bit more on Seeker play, keep Tama up in the air, or maybe swap a player out or two. I don't know, nor will I spoil anything. I think it's going to be just as exciting moving into the match. Learning as we go. After all, don't want to give either side any kind of benefit. But I have swapped up the perspectives on both sides, hoping to showcase some fun gameplay, some varied gameplay. We saw some excellent Seeker work out there, and some fantastic Keeper work out there too. Rayon saying, recently looked up some butterbeer recipes, seems to be a bunch of variants, but they all suggest cream soda and butterscotch syrup. I gotta try making up. Rayon, allow me to say this. I've made quite a few in the past myself. What I recommend is this, the perfect butterbeer. You're going to get some butterscotch syrup. You're going to sprinkle a slight amount of salt. Coarse grain sea salt or kosher salt. Just a bit to curb the sweetness. Then, what you're going to do from there is you put it at the bottom of your glass and you're going to pour in your cream soda against the side of the glass, mixing slowly. As you mix it on in, it will come up to the very top, hopefully not fizzing far too much. Then I recommend getting some whipped cream. I personally enjoy doing some of the Cool Whip myself. Mix in a slight amount of that butterscotch syrup and a sprinkle of the sea salt. Whip it all together, then pour that mixture of the whipped cream, butterscotch on the very top, and it'll create that amber foam that butterbeer is known so much for. It gives you that sweet milky mustache that just really sets it apart. That is my personal take on it, and that has been my recipe. So yes, little did you know, dear audience, that you would be learning a butterbeer recipe from a game of Quidditch. But that is to be expected. Meanwhile, I've been talking your ear off. We're about to be moving into yet another match. It looks as if we are going to be taking in... Oh, looks as if we've loaded on in to the beginning of the match. Second gameplay against the Hellfire Hogs and the Avenging Angels. Today I'm going to be bringing to you the looks of... Oh, that should have updated, but it doesn't look like it did. That is A-okay. We're going to get that swapped out very quickly here. Back to solo versus. Back into that. Not exactly sure why things are not working, but we are back at it again. Even though that says this year, we are currently taking a look over at Osiris's position. Meanwhile, whilst that says Beesman over in the corner, we've actually got Ashes of Amber on beater play. Let me see if I can get this fixed back up. Do apologies for the technical difficulties. Meanwhile, looks like the Seekers are currently... Oh, it looks as if Lysair is enjoying a wide lead there. And there we go. So sorry for some technical difficulties there, but we've got everything back up and running. And as you can see, it looks like Osiris has been taken down by Ashes of Amber. Meanwhile, no points on the board just yet. Ashes of Amber taking out the enemy beater, knocking down Angel. Angel showcasing some powerful plays as a beater in previous matches. However, it looks as if the Avenging Angels are having trouble maintaining possession of that quaffle as Beesman just keeps them out. Looks as if LeSear is still enjoying a 75% lead on the snitch. Tama not too far behind. But it looks like that marginal lead may be giving them the edge there. Ashes of Amber takes a hit from a bludger. Meanwhile, Melanor in possession of the quaffle. Osiris attempting to put in some interference. Melanor putting it home. First goal for the Hellfire Hogs. 10-0. But LeSear encroaching on the snitch. 95%. 98. 100%. Currently trying to find an opening. But it looks as if LeSear captures the snitch. 2010, 4 minutes, 49 seconds left on the board. And that allows the Avenging Angels to take the lead. However, the Hellfire Hogs are ensuring that that lead doesn't stay so far ahead. But the Avenging Angels currently passing it on downfield. Flyerish in possession, looking to get past Beesman, takes the shot in the left-hand goal. Flyerish putting it home, ensuring a greater lead at 30-10. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock. Hellfire Hogs seem to have lost that momentum from the previous game, but will that keep up, or will they find their opening? Currently passing it on down. Shock's in possession of the quaffle, looking for an opening, trying to get past K over there. But Kay takes possession of the quaffle, sends it to Ederani. Ederani kicking it on over. Flyerish picks it up, passes it back on over to Ederani or Osiris. Osiris throws it away, but Beesman comes in and sends it out. Meanwhile, it looks as if Ashes of Amber has been knocked out by Angel. These beaters are going back and forth. Meanwhile, Flyerish returning home with yet another goal, putting that at 40-10. The Hellfire Hogs are going to need to start putting some points on the board and capturing the snitch if they want to keep in this game. We've got 3 minutes left on the clock roughly. Osiris going for yet another shot, but Beesman keeps it out. Flyerish regaining possession of the quaffle. And Osiris steals it back. Meanwhile, Seekers are going just beyond. Osiris looking for an opening, can't get past Beesman. Beesman keeping him out, saying, no, this is my house, you are not welcome in here. Meanwhile, looks as if Shock's currently looking for an opening on the right hand side, is getting flanked by the defensive chaser line. Osiris and Flyers keeping them out. Cadrega currently in possession, looking to pass it on downfield or maybe streak up the field themselves. Meanwhile, looks as if LeSear is currently encroaching on the 90% meter. Getting closer and closer. Oh, and Tama gets eliminated. Rather unfortunate there. That just might ensure that LeSear captures the snitch here. We are at 95%. Will LeSear capture, or will the beaters come into play and defend against it? Quaffle game not yet abandoned. Looks as if they are still looking for a means to get on top of them. Ashes of Amber trying to send it on over, but weaving in and out of this bludger play. LeSear takes it home. Another 20 points on the board, bringing that 60-10. Just shy of 2 minutes left on the clock. It is going to be an uphill battle for the Hellfire Hogs, but it looks as if it is possible. Just need some rapid fire chaser gameplay. Meanwhile, the Avenging Angels are looking to just keep the quaffle out of the hands of the Hellfire Hogs. Ashes of Amber looking for every opening to get hits there, focusing primarily on the Seeker gameplay, but that might have come at the cost of the Chaser, as Flyerish puts home yet another goal, bringing that 70-10. Flyerish putting home yet another. Absolutely brilliant work over there in the Chaser core. Osiris getting knocked out by Ashes of Amber, but will that be just a bit too late? Currently, Seekers are at 50-50, roughly, just shy of a minute. 80-10. Angels currently in possession of the quaffle, looking to put maybe another point on the board, maybe even shut out this game. But currently, looking to squeak on past. Oh, beautiful capture there by Beesman, sending it back on out, not conceding a goal without any ease here. Meanwhile, it looks as if Tama is currently enjoying a marginal lead on the snitch, maybe trying to recover. 13 seconds left on the board. Will Tama be able to at least reduce the point differential, or will Nasir streak back ahead? Looks like they're back on top of one another. This is going to be the make or break moment, and Nasir captures, closes out the game, 100-10. Looks as if the Avenging Angels have brought home yet another victory. Well done, Avenging Angels. Well done. An unfortunate turn of events for the Hellfire Hogs, who brought home the bacon in the first match with the Chaser Corps. But Avenging Angels says, no, you aren't the only ones known for their spectacular Chaser play. We put some goals in here today. We've captured some snitches. We can do both. And whilst that does mean that the Hellfire Hogs have unfortunately suffered yet another loss on the pitch today, that doesn't mean that they are down and out. We are about to be moving into another matchup of the Hellfire Hogs. Even though this one has closed out 2 wins by way of the Avenging Angels, Hellfire Hogs have demonstrated that they are warmed up and ready to take on the Chadley Cannons in their next match. So well done to both the Avenging Angels. Well done to the Hellfire Hogs. You played absolutely spectacularly. We're going to be giving these players some time to rest themselves and a moment to step away. A wee bathroom break for anyone out there, maybe a moderator of the chat. If you have the ability to, let's go ahead and set up a quick ad break here and there as we move in to our next up match of the Chadley Cannons versus the Hellfire Hogs. Well done, everyone. Well done. Be sure to stretch. Be sure to get water. Hug your pets. Maybe hug your father. Be sure to say hello and a happy Father's Day to your father if you have a good relationship. Don't you worry, everyone. We're going to be bringing back yet another spectacular game here in just a wee bit. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Alright everyone, we are just about to move into our next game. Well, welcome back everyone, welcome back. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Felix the Virtual Witchcraft, presenting here at LEAGUE7 from the World Cup Stadium, whereby we present these world-class teams. Currently, we are enjoying a fantastic Season 5 so far. Some intense matches that we've shown today. Meanwhile, it looks as if the two teams that are going to be facing off against one another today happen to be the Hellfire HOGS versus the Chadley Cannons. Currently still getting a few things here and there set up on our side of things, as well as the additional players who are getting themselves loaded on in and getting their perspectives set on up. If you haven't already, be sure to join us over at our LEAGUE7 Discord that you can find from our official site at league7.gg. Allow me to get this team information updated really quickly so that we can display who we're going to be seeing today. And that should be it, Alright everyone, yes. So whilst we wait for these players to load themselves on in, today we have an exciting matchup of two incendiary teams. We have the Hellfire HOGS and the Chadley Cannons. Now the Hellfire HOGS have played in a few matches to date, but the Chadley Cannons have yet to play in Season 5 as of yet. This will be their first match of the season. And I can't think of a better team to introduce them to the hell in Hellfire that is the Hellfire HOGS and Season 5. Well, I say Season 5 may be hell, but at the same time, haven't really proven otherwise yet. So, I've been enjoying it. I hope all of you have been too. And of course, keep up to date with all of the goings-ons at LEAGUE7 that you can find in our match calendar on our official website at league7.gg. Additionally, if you haven't joined the Discord already, be sure to do so. It is the easiest and most up-to-date reflection of all the events that are going on, and it can get you in touch with the community at large. But yes, as we can see here, we have the Hellfire HOGS captained by Mooney and the Chadley Cannons co-captained between Chad is my dad and the OTPHJ. Hellfire HOGS have not been enjoying much of a winning streak as of yet, unfortunately losing out in both of their matchups to date. However, numbers do not dictate what the score will be at the end of the day. We have seen the Hellfire HOGS bring it home in seasons past, and I anticipate no less today. But the Chadley Cannons, being the Chads that they are, surging with charge and battering down walls with their cannons, they're not going to let the HOGS have anything for free. I know this for a fact, having witnessed OTPHJ on the field at the Triwizard Tournament, bringing home the third task. Be sure to engage there as well, everyone, to determine who's going to be the overall Triwizard champion. OTP having won the last of the Triwizard Tournament's tasks in the maze. However, there are plenty of players out here who are of themselves champions in their own right. Over the mage, Rayon. I do believe that there are also just Discord rules in place to verify identity as a means to prevent bots. Not sure if that's directly on server side or with Discord servers on the whole, especially with the recent age verification. But if it's asking for your number, then it's more than likely going to be server specific. If you have a Google number, then simply use that. It's really not going to matter too much. We're not tracking any information on our side. And it looks as if the Hellfire Hogs have currently got themselves set on up over there. Love to see it, love to see it. Let me go ahead and confirm that we have all of the HUDs and perspectives in order. Looks like it, and we are currently just waiting on the teams to start loading themselves on in for their match. It's Luna says, I love the background music, by the way. Happy to hear that, Luna. It is, if I'm not mistaken... Oh goodness, let me see if I can find the name of it. Meanwhile, Wubsy Wubsy says, there is good graphics. Oh, I do appreciate it. I put quite a bit of work into this. I hate saying the phrase, graphic design is my passion, but graphic design is my passion for all the memes that come out of that. Alexa, play Simple and Clean by Utada Hikaru. For all of you out there listening to listening in with an Amazon receiving device, I do apologize. Meanwhile, as I'm memeing on these kids, it looks as if we're about to be moving into our next matchup. The first for the Chadley Cannons, the third for the Hellfire Hogs. We are about to witness some fiery passion here on the pitch today as these two Titaness teams fend off against one another to bring home some powerful gameplay. And with that, we are off. Not exactly sure why these HUDs aren't updating at the appropriate time, but allow me to refresh the cache there and that should reflect it much better. Currently we see Ashes of Amber's perspective over on the Hellfire Hogs. Meanwhile, OTPHJ is currently pulling up the Beater's perspective over on the Chadley Cannons. We have a beater/beater. This is going to be fantastic. No points on the board as of yet, but it looks as if the Chadley Cannons wants me to eat my words, putting in the first 10 points of the match at 6 minutes and 19 seconds in. Currently, Seekers have just crested past the 25%, encroaching on 30, 35 over by the Chadley Cannons. Looks as if QC Dementor is currently leading the charge by way of the Snitch race. Just behind is Green Black, another Tri-Wizard champion who performed fantastically well in the first task of the Tri-Wizard tournament. Looks like we have two Tri-Wizard champions here today. Meanwhile, the beater on beater action is getting absolutely fierce. OTPHJ focusing primarily on the Seeker gameplay, whilst Ashes of Amber is looking for an opening on Warden over here. Knocks away the bludger. Beesman regains possession of the quaffle, showcasing their keeper skills with aplomb. Oh, and what a beautiful takedown. Looks as if Ashes of Amber is leaving no quarry, putting all of these players in their lower grave. OTPHJ snatches that bludger out of the air, takes it away. Chadley Cannons with Dementor is currently enjoying that lead. Looks as if they have gotten past the 90% mark. 95. Everyone's focusing on the Seeker game here now. And Dementor brings it home with the snitch capture. 20 additional points. That is 0-30. Chadley Cannons currently in the lead with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. Chadley Cannons in possession. T-Dreams holding on to the quaffle, looking to streak on up the pitch, passes it on over to Saffron J. Saffron J sends it, but it is saved. Currently, Hellfire Hogs back in possession of the quaffle. Shinobi passing it on over to Melanor. Melanor passing it back on Obi to Shinobi, but Saffron J steals the quaffle and sends it back on down over to One Warden. One Warden streaks on over. Oh, but Ashes of Amber knocks it out of their hands with a well-timed bludger. Meanwhile, Sitting Duck currently in possession of the quaffle for the Hellfire Hogs. Looks to send it, but it is saved. CompuGamer takes possession of the quaffle, sends it back on down. Melanor now in possession. OTPHJ gets knocked down by Ashes of Amber. Rather unfortunate, that one. But it looks as if the Seekers over by Chadley Cannons is enjoying a marginal lead on the snitch race, just encroaching on the 50% meter. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs are struggling to find their footing right now. Looks as if Hellfire Hogs in possession. No, one warden of the Chadley Cannons picks up the quaffle and is moving it on down. Looks to go for a one-timer. Ashes of Amber knocking out T-Dreams and taking a ruin towards that well-earned plan. Oh, Ashes of Amber showing how absolutely merciless they happen to be. Looks like Dementor is weaving in and out, encroaching on the 75% mark at 3 minutes in. No additional scores have yet to be made. Still 0-30, with Chadley Cannons currently in the lead, 75% by way of Dementor. Meanwhile, it looks as if Green-Black is struggling to keep ahead. Oh, beautiful play there by one warden, sending home yet another quaffle score. That is 40 points to 0. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the board. It's all coming down to the snitch race right here. Looks as if Ashes of Amber trying to play interference on this Seeker game, sending out as many bludgers as possible. It looks as if there's some interference chaser play coming into this. Oh, Ashes of Amber looking to get on top of Dementor, as well as Beesman streaking on out, trying to interfere. Will that cost them, or will they get it here? Meanwhile, Chadley Cannons getting closer and closer. It looks like they might get the snitch. Dementor is stunned. Will that give Green-Black the lead they need in order to capture the snitch? Green-Black dodges out of the way of the speeding bludger. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs puts in a goal and captures the snitch. That's 30-40 with 1 minute 56 seconds left on the clock. What a beautiful turnaround. It looks as if the Hellfire Hogs have regained their momentum and is trying to bring it back. Ashes of Amber trying to interfere with this chaser game here, but the Chadley Cannons pass it back and forth with a one-timer, putting it in by way of T-Dreams, bringing that 30-50. 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. Currently Dementor enjoying a marginal lead. Oh, a strong lead now as Green-Black goes down. Currently Dementor just past 25. Ashes of Amber coming in and out, trying to keep the other team off of that snitch as long as possible, but it looks as if Green-Black is struggling to keep back up, just getting back on the meter right there. Meanwhile, Chadley Cannons is keeping up with that Defensor Seeker play, as well as CompuGamer coming in with a well-timed kick to the Seeker there. Looks as if Dementor has just crested past the 50% mark. 30-50, 50 seconds left on the clock. Looks as if the Hellfire Hogs are looking for an opening, but don't get it. CompuGamer keeping them out of bounds just as much as Beesman has on their side. This beater-on-beater action has proven to be rather relentless. One warden taking a hit, losing possession of the quaffle by way of Ashes of Amber, but Sitting Duck picks up the quaffle again for the Hellfire Hogs, looking to get it in. CompuGamer kicks it on out. It's all going to come down to this last snitch race, as it is 20 seconds left. Ashes of Amber and OTPHJ focusing on the Seekers. Dementor crested past 95%. 10 seconds left on the clock. Will Dementor get it here? It looks as if Dementor has taken the snitch, bringing the first match to the Chadley Cannons. 30-70, 5 seconds left. There is no way to turn this around. Instead, it looks like the Chadley Cannons have won this match. Well done, Chadley Cannons. Beautiful chaser gameplay, beautiful seeker gameplay, absolutely fantastic beating by way of both teams. And just like that, we bring the first win here towards the Chadley Cannons. Stunning, stellar gameplay from both sides. Well done, everyone. Well done. Absolutely, Chads. Chadley Cannons showcasing their ferocity on the pitch. However, the defensive strategy by way of the Hellfire Hogs kept them at bay nearly enough to have secured a final snitch catch would have brought them ahead in the lead. The Hellfire Hogs are so close to greatness, they just need to push that little bit farther. I believe in them. I know they can do well. I've seen them spectacularly succeed in the past. Now I want to see them do the same today. Ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, be sure to get some water in you. We are going to be moving into the second match here shortly. Currently, just waiting to see exactly who is going to be loading up and when. I do hope that everyone has been enjoying their Father's Day. If you haven't already, be sure to reach out to your father. Wish them a happy Father's Day. If you're not too close to them, I understand. But at the same time, if you do have a good relationship, go ahead, show them some love. And of course, show your father Felix over here some love as well. Be sure to join our Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe to us here at League7. Be sure to join us over on our YouTube as we get our VODs loaded up and organised. We're hoping to bring you more and more fantastic matches for your viewing pleasure. Oh, getting some water in me right now, everyone. I do hope you've all been enjoying yourself as of late. I do hope that you've been enjoying the new setup and enjoying these matches on the whole. Season 5 has just begun, and yet we are at a absolute pistol out the gate with these explosive games. All the more befitting for the explosive Chadley Cannons and the fiery, fearsome Hellfire that is the Hellfire Hogs. Ooh. Alright everyone, it looks as if the teams are holding off for just a moment longer. Don't anticipate we will be running into any issue with regards to the dreaded 41, but we are indeed holding off for each of these players to get loaded into their match. Looks like there may yet be some substitutions here and there. We're going to be seeing just who's going up against whom in but a moment. Warbeard pulling up saying, since when is virtual Irish? Well, I am Irish. I've just not been using much of the accent for flavour. Now, especially with the World Cup that we're at right now, I thought it very appropriate to bring home the Irish flair. After all, one of the first people to bring us to the World Cup within our streaming display was Floirish himself, and I did want to pay homage where I could. Now, as you can see, everyone, we do not have any other matches currently scheduled for today up on the screen, but if you happen to be out there and have been waiting to put your schedules on in, be sure to do so. We would love to commentate more matches every single weekend, every single day if possible. Might even do a few here and there with regards to some scrims, or even invite a few of these players on just for a little chat so you can get to know them a little better. I won't be the only one in the booth here. I will also be inviting a few co-commentators over the weeks to come in order to bring more exciting matches for you today. Jagard just subbed and no thank you. Apologies, Jagard, it only just registered up on my screen. I will say thank you, Jagard, for your subscription, for your support, and for the stellar gameplay that I know you've given to us over the years and will no doubt bring today. Warbeard says, okay, carry on, King. Thank you, Warbeard. Thank you so much. And just like that, we will be carrying on. We are about to move into the second matchup of the Hellfire Hogs versus the Chadley Cannons. We are in for another riveting match, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, as we are about to begin the first match, or no, the second match, excuse me, of the Hellfire Hogs versus the Chadley Cannons. I'm getting in my last amount of water. And the match is off. As we see, Beesman once again defending for the Hellfire Hogs, makes an absolutely spectacular save of the first goal attempt by way of the Chadley Cannons, sending it back on out to Shinobi. Meanwhile, over by way of the Chadley Cannons, we are in fact watching Jagard, who has just subscribed to us over at League 7, currently streaking down the pitch, looking for some bumps, but takes a hit by way of Beesman. Beesman looking to get yet another one out there. Looks as if Jagard is just slightly trailing on behind Green-Black, as Green-Black once again takes the mantle of Seeker for the Hellfire Hogs. Green-Black coming in, dodging out of the way of these incoming bludgers and strikes. Jagard falling behind a wee bit as Beesman keeps the goals from going in, holding on to the quaffle, potentially looking to get that hero kick, sends it on out to the field, making the play caller. Shucks currently in possession of the quaffle, but Saffron sweeps on in, steals the quaffle, sends it on over to T-Dreams. T-Dreams passing it on downfield, regathers the quaffle, looks for an opening, but is looking like over here Beesman is keeping him on his toes, sweeping left, swinging right, keeping everything on the line. Beesman going in for a strike there over on Jagard. Jagard catching back up very quickly on that snitch meter. We are at 75 to 75% on that meter. T-Dreams holding on to the quaffle, not wanting to give Beesman the quaffle in case his Seeker swings over to the enemy line. Meanwhile, we are going to swap on over to Jagard. No scores on the board at 5 minutes and 12 seconds left on the match. But currently Jagard is in the lead as it looks as if Green-Black has gotten struck by a bludger hit, and Jagard secures the snitch at 5 minutes, 2 seconds left on the clock, 20 to 0. Looks as if Chadley Cannons currently in the lead. Well done, Jagard. Fantastic seeking. And it looks as if the snitch has been over by way of Beesman. Beesman keeping it out. Melanor coming in with a beautiful defensive chaser line. T-Dreams regathers the quaffle and puts it home, securing another 10 points by way of the Chadley Cannons. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock, and that is at a scoreboard of 0 to 30. Hellfire Hogs seem to be struggling to keep up right now. But Beesman is still sending it on home. Melanor regathering the quaffle, looking for an opening. Shad is my dad, regains possession of the quaffle, sends it back on out to T-Dreams. T-Dreams looking to get past the chaser line. Does he? No, Beesman comes in and regathers the quaffle, looking to put it right back on out. Meanwhile, it looks as if Jagard is keeping up a solid lead on that snitch meter. However, Green-Black coming in with a decisive bump right there. equalising the playing field. J-Guard trying to keep the enemy off of their tail. We'll swap on over to the Seeker perspective just to get a good look there. It does look as if Green-Black is enjoying a marginal lead. Marginal. Meanwhile, oof, a beautiful shot by T-Dreams there, squeaking past Beesman. Beesman feeling the pressure. Will that be the equaliser here? Will J-Guard be able to overcome the enemy beaters and capture the snitch, or will Green-Black turn this around and secure a victory for the Hogs? There it is, first goal by way of Shucks for the Hellfire Hogs, reducing that lead down from 40 to 30. That is 10 and 40 lead by way of the Chadley Cannons at 3 minutes in. We are currently encroaching on the 75% meter by way of the Chadley Cannons as J-Guard is streaking ahead. Green-Black looking for openings and trying to get bumps in there where possible, but is currently being interfered by the Chaser Corps of the Chadley Cannons. This is some fierce gameplay here. Looks like the Chadley Cannons squeaks past. Chad is my dad. The captain of the team squeaks past Beesman. Beesman trying to keep them out. Meanwhile, it looks as if they are at 75 and 75 over on the Seeker gameplay. A marginal lead by way of J-Guard. Oh, Beesman goes on out to try and get that kick. Was it worth it? It looks like it was, to reduce down just a bit. But J-Guard still in the lead, weaving in and out, using that focus cam to great effect. Meanwhile, Green-Black hovering on top of it. Beesman keeps out the Seekers, keeps out the Chasers. J-Guard takes a hit there, takes another interference tacker, another one. Will Green-Black use this advantage? 20-50. Oh, and J-Guard goes down by Ashes of Amber. It looks as if this Hellfire Hogs may yet secure this. Hellfire Hogs, oh no! Hellfire Hogs. Green-Black gets knocked on down by way of Ashes of Amber. What a spectacular turnaround. Oh, the Seeker, it looks as if poor Green-Black is just getting knocked by every one of these Chasers. And it looks like the Chadley Cannons are turning this back around, regaining the momentum. J-Guard at over 90%. Unfortunately, Green-Black only at 75. Oh, it looks as if they're going in for bumps. They are not being merciful whatsoever. Oh, will this be it for the Hellfire Hogs? Will the Chadley Cannons? Oh, look at that! Chadley Cannons secures yet another goal, or excuse me, yet another snitch. Hellfire Hogs securing a goal at the last second there. 1 minute left on the match, but this could change possibly. We could see a turnaround. They just need one final snitch. Will there be enough time? I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen, but anything is possible. Spectacular gameplay here today. Absolutely amazing. T-Dreams currently streaking down the pitch, trying to get anything to secure a win, but Beesman for the Hellfire Hogs regains possession of the quaffle, sends it on down. Looks as if Chad takes possession of the quaffle, like the absolute Chad he has. Sends it to Saffron J, sends it to T-Dreams. T-Dreams sending it on over to Chad. Chad takes the shot, but Beesman blocks yet again. We've got 10 seconds left on the match. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get that snitch. 5 seconds left in 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is the match. Well done, everyone. Spectacular gameplay, but only one winner today, and that is the Chadley Cannons. Well done. Round of applause, everyone, for the Chadley Cannons as they have secured the second victory and their first match of the season. Congratulations all around to the Chadley Cannons. There's going to be plenty, and I do mean plenty, of celebration by way of the Chadley Cannons common room tonight. Meanwhile, Hellfire Hogs, you played absolutely spectacularly. All consolation, I want it to be known that you are still my favourite Hogs. I think you have done absolutely well. Tough games today. We have seen some powerhouse plays from both sides. We've seen the Hellfire Hogs secure themselves as a strong contender Though they may not have won today, they have still won my heart. And I hope that everyone here has enjoyed the stream. This will conclude the last of our matches today, but I do hope that you will join me as they are announced, and I do hope to have more people coming in to join me in the commentators box as we continue another exciting League 7 season. If you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, join us over on our League 7 Discord that you can find at league7.gg. That is our official website. And of course, watch us over on YouTube, join us on our socials. Be sure to join us everywhere. We're trying to get Quidditch back onto the map, ensure that new and old players alike join us in these fantastic and exciting seasons. But like it all comes down, that is the end of our matches today. That is the end of this stream. Thank you so much, ladies, gentlemen, everyone out in between. Esteemed members of chat, you have been a fantastic audience. Well done, everyone. Have a great day.